call a roll call or call the meeting to order and get a roll call. So let's see. Hope. Oh, I thought you said Hope was online.
She is.
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay. Bill?
I'm here.
Frida?
I'm here.
John?
I'm here.
And Paul. And myself for board members. Sheila's going to be late and no word from Danny. Anna, can you say who else is online, please?
Yes, there's myself, Anna Bateman, Tribal Administrator, Samantha Rice, Program Director for Victim Services, Melinda Smith, Program Director for Education and Medical Billing, Healthcare, and Julie Roberts. She is our Financial Officer.
Julia Roberts?
I'm sorry. I was
Who's
I was reading Julia Smith, Julia Roberts, woo, Julie Smith.
Okay.
Sorry.
All right. Can I get somebody to make a motion to, hold on one second. I got to switch screens here. Oh, I thought I had the minutes. I don't have the minutes.
I have the draft for the minutes of the August 26th. I'll make a motion to accept it. Hello.
Okay, there's a motion to accept the minutes for August, was it 22nd, John?
26th.
26, thank you. Is there a second?
I second.
Okay, any discussion?
Question.
The question's been called. I just want to point out, I thought I had the minutes, but I can't find them. When were they sent out? Do you know, Anna?
Let me look, and I can resend them to you.
Well, if you happen to know the date, that would be great.
Okay.
I just sent out the final copy with the last
Oh, here we go,
correction.
revised minutes.
Yeah, just like
With
a
the
few, like at 3:54.
The other ones were, correct. The other ones Hope sent to us on 9/15, but she's corrected them, so we have new copies.
Oh, I got them.
Okay.
Okay, I have the meeting minutes. 8:10. What the?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm missing something here.
The meeting was on the 10th.
Okay. All right, so the question's been called, and the motion was for 8:26, but it needs to be 8:10 meeting. You okay with changing that, John?
Yeah, I'm changing it now. Thank you.
And the second was it Hope?
Was me, Frida.
Frida, are you okay with changing it to August 10th?
Yes.
All right. So the question's been called. All in favor signify by saying aye.
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 And all opposed say nay. All right, thank you. Now I need to get back to the agenda. Doggone it. Here we go. All right. Approval, the minutes have been approved. The agenda, I would like to add at the end before, or right after, I'm sorry, COVID-19 strategy, executive session. So the first thing up, Julie, with financial reports.
Okay, there are 6 pages. The first 2 pages are the balance sheet.
Is there
No
anything
changes.
you want to point out on the first page?
No. No changes, the same.
Any questions on the first page? Okay, page 2, Julie, anything you want to point out on that?
No, nothing to note.
Any questions on page 2? All right, page 3. Julie, you want to point out anything?
VIA. We are getting ready to submit paperwork for FY21. That's the only thing new on this.
And I'm sorry, Julie, you said you're getting rid of something, but I couldn't hear what you said.
Oh, no, getting ready to submit paperwork for FY21.
Oh, getting ready, okay. Any questions on page?
IHS.
Hold on one second, please, Julie. Any questions on page 3? Okay, Julie, page 4.
Page 4, IHS, we have received notification of 2 payments we'll be receiving in September. Page 7 is for $16,184. It's some COVID money for contract support costs. And then pay 8 will be the last payments of our FY20 funds, which are the maintenance and improvement and the equipment payments.
Okay, any questions on page 4? Okay.
Yes, is that
page
COVID
5.
money for combating COVID?
It's contract support funds. We have received funding for direct COVID-specific line items like testing and then tribal assistance and then the CARES money. Contract support is costs that support the program. So we haven't received those yet, and we haven't really seen a narrative yet, but typically that's what contract support costs are for.
Okay, thank
It's
you.
those miscellaneous things that it takes to run and support the program.
All right, any other questions on page 4? Hearing none, we'll go to page 5. Julie?
Page 5, Chugach-Mute. We have received some FY21 awards, caregivers, elders nutrition, older Native American, which is also elders nutrition based. The elders fish distribution is still continuing. I've expended my budget. I had budgeted for $8,000. I've expended $8,075 in product and $105 in supplies, which were like bags for vacuum sealing. And then I am going to be needing approval on, I'm going to be cutting a check here soon once I get the final statement from Peter Pan. The first couple payments were paid with credit card, and then I did get a okay for a charge account with Peter Pan. So I'm going to be cutting a check of $5,251. I'm just letting the board know that since it is above and beyond the $5,000, cap.
So so it's $250 over what was budgeted?
It is, yeah, basically, the supplies I purchased for, vacuum sealing.
Okay, Anna, do you need a motion to do that, or just you're okay with?
It's not really over budgeted. It's just over the allowed amount that the office can approve, because we're capped at
Yeah.
5,000.
The check I'm
Right,
gonna be needing to
understood. Do you need a motion, or what do you need to, if anything, to
Just
let
just
that happen?
a motion that it's okay to go over the $5,000.
Can I get somebody to make a motion to extend the budget by, I don't know, $500, just on paper, the budget? And are we doing that? It's called the Elders Nutrition Fund, correct?
Yes. You don't, Jim, you don't have to increase the budget. You just need to approve that check.
Okay, so are you looking for a $5,250 check or a $250 check? I'm just trying to understand what you're looking for.
A check for 5,250 and whatever the change is.
Okay, can I get somebody to make a motion, please?
I make a motion to have Julie write out the check for the amount of 5,250, or should I say a little bit more? Because I don't know the exact amount.
Can you say $5,300 just in case?
I make a motion to have Julie in the office write a check to Peter Pan for $5,300.
And as part of the motion is, I'm sorry, John, was that you seconded?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. So it's been moved and seconded, and just for clarity, it's to cover Elders Nutrition program for Peter Pan. So there's a motion and a second on the floor. Is there any discussion?
Question.
Question's been called. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed say nay. And the ayes have it. Thank you. Anything else on this page, Julie?
No.
All right. Any other questions on page 5?
Hey,
All right.
Jim, this is John.
Go ahead, John.
I had part of this elders food program. I went ahead with Patrick, and we dried up a whole bunch of silvers, and I brought a box out here, and it's all dried up, but I don't know what else to do with it. It's part of the elders food program, but I was just trying to let everyone know that that's a project that Patrick and I were working on, and the Valdez fishery is looking for a letter of support because they're expanding the hatchery, the Valdez fishery part down here on Loop Road, and they would like a letter of support from the V&T for giving salmon to the Elders Food Program. They're going to be building another building down here on Loop Road.
Is that the old Three Bears?
Yes.
Okay. Anna, what do you need, if anything? John, did they give you a letter, a draft letter, or?
No, they didn't. I was in the parking lot, and they just asked if I would chimed that into I told him we had a board meeting coming up, and this was over a week ago now. And I said I would drop it in somebody's ear, so.
Yeah, John, if you can just leave some contact information, or if you can get it and then call me and give it to me, I'm happy to write that letter and get it to you, Jim, for your signature.
Okay, I'll try to do that.
Okay. And
So
thanks
John,
for-
they're looking for a letter, they're looking for a letter of support to expand their property, or they're looking for a letter of support recognizing them that they're giving fish to the elders program, or both?
Probably both, but they're going to be adding another building down there by where the old Three Bears is, so that's what they were looking for, because they haven't started clearing any land yet. It's probably going to be next summer.
Okay, I'm just, if you can make that clear to Anna so she knows what to write, that'd be awesome.
Okay, yeah, we'll be with Mike Wells and stuff. I'll try to get the information for you.
Okay, John.
Just what they're looking for, so Anna knows what to write.
Okay.
Hey, Jim,
Well,
this
I
is
guess,
Bill.
I'll do that.
I guess let me back up a little bit. We should, is there any objection to having that letter written?
Jim, this is Bill.
Go ahead, Bill.
Yeah, can Anna just contact the fisheries and find out what they need and support, and then get back with us and with a letter written in their support? I'm in favor of it, but I think if Anna's going to be writing the letter, she should contact the Valdez fishery and see what the V&T can do to support them.
Okay, Bill.
Yeah, I like that. I like that. So, does anybody have an objection to this letter being written? Because if there's not, then we should give Anna the approval to write that letter, and I'll sign it. All right. Hearing no objection, I don't think we need a resolution or a motion, but I may be wrong on that.
Thank you guys for your support on that.
Anna, do you need a motion for that?
No, I don't think so.
Okay. All right. So that's it for the financials, and then we have COVID funding. I don't know if anything different on that, Julie?
Just the new notifications of deposits that we received.
Yeah,
Okay.
I just had it on the agenda like that, but Frida asked the question, so I think we already addressed. You know, we've gotten different little pockets of COVID funding from IHS and Chugach, and through Chugach Mute, but the majority of the CARES funding, as you guys know, has been held up in court for Alaska Native corporations. And then also some of the funding that we were offered, there's no way we could have met the criteria. So we didn't pursue it.
Okay.
Do we still have just until the end of the year to spend what we still have, Anna?
Yes.
Okay.
And if we don't spend
we
it, we just have to give it back, and they'll give us, I've spoken with some of the directors, and they have explained it that they don't have any hard dates on when the money is expected back, but they'll be letting us know how that's all going to play out here in the next few months.
Anna, this is Bill.
And it's,
Yes?
On the federal state of that with Indian Health Service in Milwaukee and talking with the National Indian Health Board, yes, that hard date is the end of December, but they are planning on extending it. So it depends on what Congress is going to be doing. We are in the same boat as the rest of America, and they know that they cannot spend the money that they gave us with the restrictions that they have in the time that they said we have to do it. So that is being looked at, but Congress and the Senate and the House need to come up with the proper wording on the bill. So more to come.
Good to know. And just so all the board members know, the two funding packages that we were offered were from the Paycheck Fund, it's called. And the criteria on it was like to have, 50% of the tribal population tested each week. Well, that's impossible because we don't even have that kind of testing material, so it never could have happened. So there was no point in entering into those agreements, into those contracts with the federal government when there's no way we can meet their requirements. That would have just been a big train wreck. And I know we talked about it in other board meetings before, and Jim and other of the board members expressed their concern that we didn't get into a corner that we couldn't get out of, painting ourselves into a corner by accepting all the funding opportunities that come past us. It's not always, the best thing for the tribe. So this IHS COVID money, we don't have any choice on saying yes or no, we don't want it. And like Julie said, they haven't sent any narratives. I'll be contacting them as soon as we get the funding so I can make sure that I know exactly what we can and can't spend it on. Some of the money that we have received has been spent on making it possible for us to work at home. For example, Samantha getting a laptop for her house, and actually there really hasn't been too much. Maybe Mindy got I don't know. I don't think Mindy got anything either. But anyways, so that's just kind of ideas. I am still working on getting all of you tablets, but I had to set up a business account because like even Best Buy won't send out more than 2 at a time. So I have a phone call into them. They're supposed to call me back. I'm going to call them tomorrow if I don't hear from them in the morning to see if I can't get tablets, so that a lot of that support money is to help tribes still run while we're working from home. So there you go.
Oh, am I still online?
Yes.
Oh, okay. I thought everything went dead. Okay, any questions on the COVID? Hearing none, we'll go to Elders Fish Pickup.
I think Julie kind of went over that already with the check getting approved and what she needs to do, right, Julie?
Oh, that's,
Yes, it's still ongoing. We've had probably about 50% of elders that usually they've picked up. Some have chosen to wait a little bit longer, so it's still ongoing.
okay. Any questions for that?
I just want to say,
All right.
I just wanted to point out that Julie's done a really outstanding job with the fish this year. And I just want you guys to know that, she's really stepped outside of her job description and helped the V&T out with this and the elders. And they really appreciate it. They really loved getting their fish. So thank you, Julie.
Fun keeping contact with them too. They're coming in, picking up, and being sure they're all okay, and they're all so thankful. And yeah, they're all doing pretty good.
Yeah, a lot goes into it, and part of it is the wellness part. So good job.
Thank you.
All right. Before we go on, Julie, I've known you for a lot of years. I didn't know your last name was Roberts.
I didn't either.
All right. Next item, Melinda for healthcare.
Everything with the billing is pretty much going the same way. I have not heard back yet if they are or not coming down for the eye clinic this year. I can't get a definite answer from anybody at South Central Foundation about that. I know we've had several emails already for that. Here's fine.
Okay, as far as healthcare goes, Anna, do we have any disputes hanging out for any of our members or beneficiaries?
No, none at this time.
All right.
I still have one. I have
Any
a
questions?
$232 bill that I'm pretty sure I got a number for, but if I didn't, it's $232. I was hoping it could get paid at the counseling center.
Hope, have you already brought it in to get checked, looking for a number for it?
You wrote a letter saying you couldn't find one. I didn't think I needed to bring it in.
Because we can appeal it, and I don't, Jim, if it's okay with you, we could appeal it right, right now, if that's what Hope's doing.
Okay, so Anna, what is it you need from the board
I
to
just
make
need
this
you,
happen?
I just need you guys to approve paying for it. I'm not sure how come, there's not a number. I know that Hope was, seeing the doctor, so I was aware of her going. So I don't know why she didn't get a number.
Anna,
could
this
have
is
been-
Bill.
Yes, Bill.
Have we sent out a new update on the proper procedure for getting reimbursed for medical, like driving up to Anchorage and stuff like that? So it's understood by all of the beneficiaries and the board members?
Whenever somebody calls, I
No,
made the decision.
I mean, getting the paperwork done before they go in, or if they forget it, you can always text it to them so they can have the paper signed by the doctor in Anchorage for our procedures, for audits, and for keeping us in line with what we need to do. I thought a letter was going to go out and make sure that all the beneficiaries and all the board members knew that the proper procedure for getting reimbursed for travel.
Well, the concern, Bill, was that if we put it out in a letter, then we could have a run on it, so to speak. So what I decided to do anyways, and I instructed Melinda and Julie, was take it one call at a time, inform the people that need to go to Alaska to Anchorage, what the procedure it is for getting reimbursed for travel. And so that seems to have been working fine. I know people do know about it because they call in and ask about it. But, the board could vote right now. If you guys want us to send out a letter and let everybody know that there's travel money, we can do it that way too.
I just want to know that anyone that calls up or asks for travel knows the proper procedure for doing it. So if we get audited, we're doing the same for every person that's getting the travel funds.
Absolutely. And the Valdez Native Tribe actually is keeping better track of it than we are required to by ANTHC. I don't want to say that they don't have, that they don't want us not to keep books or anything like that on it, but they left it up to our discretion, and Melinda and Julie have, Melinda has a spreadsheet. She keeps track of it and turns that into Julie because the tribe gets reimbursed. We actually give the cards out to the members, beneficiaries first, and they have to provide all of the correct paperwork. They're supposed to give it before, and then they have to do like a receipt or proof that they went, so that they can, if they need to go again.
Okay, just so it's done for everyone that done the correct way and done it, and no one gets any special treatments type deal. I can understand if you go to Anchorage and you forget about it, where V&T can, with the email and electronic stuff, we can do it so they can get the proper paper signed by the doctor, so everyone's on the same playing field. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, so back to the original question. Well,
So Jim, the procedure is, and Hope, this is the procedure, is that you bring in your bill, and I apologize, I don't remember this specific case, but I know you went to the doctor, and so I'm not sure why you didn't get a number for whatever reason. Sometimes that happens, and when it gets to this point, the board does have to say, okay, pay the bill, because we have to show Indian Health Services that we have a record of how it all came to get paid. And so if we don't have a number to attach to that bill, we have to have record on our meetings that, in our meeting minutes, that it was paid by board approval. And
So
usually
to go
we
to-
put it on the agenda, but we didn't.
So here's my question, Anna.
Mhm.
Notwithstanding this particular case, who it is,
Yes.
this was for travel to Anchorage, or was this a doctor visit in Valdez?
Hope.
I think you're talking about two different things. Are we talking about both the orthopedic clinic and then the unpaid counseling bill?
It sounded to me like you were talking about an unpaid counseling bill.
Yeah.
I think that Chief Bill just wanted some clarification on the other, because we're just talking about medical. But yours is for, what you're asking for is an unpaid bill to counseling.
Right.
And that was local. It did not
Yeah.
involve travel, that one.
No.
Okay. All right. Anna, what is your recommendation on that bill, not any travel?
That it get paid.
Okay. Can somebody make a motion, please?
I make a motion to have Hope's counseling bill paid.
There's a motion on the floor. Is there a second?
Should I second myself?
You shouldn't.
Okay.
Jim?
You should not.
Jim?
Oh, sorry. Yes. Go ahead, Bill.
I'll go ahead and second it.
All right. There's a motion on the floor and a second to pay the counseling bill in question. Any discussion?
I have a discussion, Jim. In the future,
Bill, go ahead.
is there a way to verify that a number was gotten? Because every time I ever gone to the clinic, it doesn't matter where I go, I always get a number before I step into the place of where I'm getting medical treatment, either physical therapy or hospital or clinic.
Yeah, we understand, Bill. For some reason, I know that Hope was going to the counseling center. I've seen the call list, in our book, and I'm surprised that there wasn't a number for that particular visit that she went, and I know she went. So, and we have the bill as proof. And for some reason, I don't know if it could have been on a day when I was giving out numbers and I got distracted, or maybe it was Julie and she was giving out numbers and she got distracted. Things happen. It's not, it's not that Hope didn't try to get a number, or that we didn't try to give her one. It just crossed
And what
somewhere.
you said there makes a whole lot of difference, because you said you saw the call list and saw her name on it. So
Well,
if she called in, then there should have been a number. So.
Well, what I mean by that, Bill, is I pay attention for different reasons, not because I'm trying to be nosy on people's business, but Hope has shared with me that she went there, so I knew that. But I look at the record of calls from time to time so that I can tell what the trend is. If we have, if we have a lot of, let's say, respiratory illnesses, or we have especially with COVID right now, I need to keep track of how many types of illnesses, how many types of what kind of doctors are being seen. And, unfortunately, we recently lost Dr. Bailey through the hospital. I'll talk about that a little more later, but so that was a concern. I needed to look at the records to see how many people actually were seeing her. And so, that's when, I know that Hope went to the doctor, so she should have got a number. I don't know why it didn't happen. Whatever. We have the money to pay for it, so let's just pay for it.
I
Okay,
agree.
there's a motion. There's a motion and a second. Any other discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
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 All opposed say nay. And for the record, please, whoever's taking notes, I guess, Hope, I would like to list you as abstaining from the vote, please.
All right, got it.
Simply because it deals with you directly.
Makes sense. And Hope, I just have something. Hope, if that ever happens again, or someone that needs to appeal a medical bill, if you call me ahead of time, I'll put it on the agenda. And it doesn't even have to be, you don't even have to say that it's you or the person. It can be anonymous. We've done them before anonymously. Okay?
Yeah, I have no problem. I think more people should go to the counselor.
Right? Yeah. It's good.
Thank
Good
you.
help. Yeah.
All right. Anything else for healthcare, Mindy or Anna?
No.
Okay. Next item is education.
So with education, we've had a couple continuing higher education grants that have gone out, and we have received a new application for adult vocational training for the nursing program here in town.
Okay. Now, as far as the new application, Anna, is that something for the education committee, or it just gets approved? Just process-wise, let me know.
Yeah, it just gets approved because as long as right, Mindy, as long as they meet the criteria, then it's part of your program. So you don't really need the board to approve it again because they've already approved your program.
Correct. It's just letting you guys know what's been going on in the office. That's it.
Okay. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Any questions on education? Hearing none, we'll go to TWIC.
We're in the process of trying to get Bernice vested. It takes quite a while for that to happen. I think it took me 3 months to get it done. But until then, the TWIC is pretty much still just going to be Tuesdays and Thursdays in the morning time.
Did you say vested, or I didn't hear what you said?
Vested, yes.
With a V as in Victor or B as in Bravo?
V as in Victor. Vested.
Vested. Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Anything else for TWIC?
Mm-mm.
Any questions for TWIC? Hearing none, we'll go to enrollment report request.
There are no new enrollment applications at this time.
All right. Any questions on enrollment? Okay, next item.
Jim? Jim?
Yes.
I have a question for
Yes.
Mindy. Mindy, at this time, back up on healthcare, do you want to talk to the board about the program that you need to get for medical records?
We can. It's not just for medical records. It's to put all of our records onto a database system. It's called Tribal Data Resources. And I don't know if you guys have ever seen like an enrollment style software, but it's a searchable database to where we take everybody's paper files and we'll be loading them on there, and we can do tribal cards, certificates. There's also ways to pull reports off of it easier. It is going to be some money to start it. I know we've talked about it in the past on getting a database system for our records. And I have pulled a couple quotes because we'd have to update the server system. And I talked with Scott at North Pacific Rim Housing, and he gave me a quote for everything we would need to run the software. And that comes out to $6,721. And then to get the software that we need, that's at $10,475.
And obviously, Anna or Mindy, I don't know, but obviously security is an issue when you have personal information like that. So obviously the software and everything associated is secure.
Yes. I've talked to several other Native associations, and the Progeny software is what they are running.
And Jim, Mindy has done a lot of legwork and, looking for the best prices and then best system. And for the, my experience, that is exactly correct on the system that she has gotten a quote for. And I would approve it, except for it's over my $5,000 limit. So, but we really need it. The V&T needs to, we're actually required by law, Indian Health Services requirements, and they've turned it into law that everybody's medical records has to be digitized. And so we're out of compliance. And we've talked about, Mindy and I and Julie have talked about lots of different ways we could do this. Excuse me. And there really is no shortcut. We need the computer program. We need the software.
So have you identified where $16,000 or $17,000 would come from?
Well, we need to take it out of Indian Health Services because that's what it's for.
No, I understand. What I'm asking is, we have the funds available to do what we have to do.
For sure.
Okay, can I get somebody to entertain a motion to?
Is this medical software we're talking about, or is this enrollment software? Because if it's enrollment, we can't take it out of IHS medical funds.
Julie,
Where can we take it out of?
It's for medical reasons, first of all. So that's the priority.
If that's the case, Julie, where can we take it from, in your opinion?
Well, I'm just trying to clarify, is it medical coding software or is it enrollment software?
It's both,
They're two
but
different.
we could split it, you know, if we need to. But
But are we going to need medical software further on down the road as well?
If we ever get medical software, we would be hooking up with ANMC and ANTHC's Cerner system.
yeah, which we've already checked into, which we've already asked them. That's what I mean. Mindy's already done all that legwork and tried to figure out a way to get around it, but there really isn't. And so we could split it, but I don't even think we need to split it. We could maybe do 3/4 of the bill to IHS and 1/4 to BIA.
We'd be able to take it out of like program dollars then, medical program?
Yeah.
Anna, I didn't hear your response.
Yes. Sorry, Jim. I was shaking my head up and down, but I forgot you're on the phone.
Anna,
Yes.
this is Bill.
Mm-hmm.
What do we need as the VNT to get into compliance? What requirements do we need? Is it medical or is it for
Yes.
enrollment?
No, the medical is where we're out of compliance. So that's why I'm hesitating to say anything different in answering Julie, is because it needs to come out of the IHS budget for medical purposes first. And, you know, to get the people enrolled so that they can get their medical benefits is also part of IHS. But we can, you know, consult with someone at IHS in Anchorage and make sure that, you know, we're fine in how I'm thinking that it should be paid for. But I think IHS is the one that really wants us to have everything digitized. So with that being said, I think it would be fine just to pay for it with IHS money. But we'll, you know, of course we'll clarify, and that's a good question that Julie has. Because maybe because of HIPAA laws, maybe we can't use it for enrollment. I don't know. I'm not sure.
Okay,
I
so
don't,
How about
it
this?
doesn't make
research.
sense
How
to
about
me.
this? Can I get somebody to put a motion on the floor to authorize, say, up to $18,000 for VNT to be in compliance with, I believe, Anna, you said IHS requirements
Yeah,
for
you know,
digitizing?
but Mindy, I don't know, Mindy. Do you think that progeny is allowable as a medical enrollment or not? As to do medical documentation?
I'm not 100% sure on that. What the progeny does is take everybody's paperwork, their CDIBs, their birth certificates, their authorization information, and puts it into a searchable program.
Format.
Yeah.
Let me put you on hold and get up and go search through all the files and figure out what they have, what they don't have, what they need, or any of that.
Because here's my point is, if they're not enrolled, they're not going to get their medical services paid for anyways. So we have to start somewhere. And so I've seen this program used for enrollment. But the end goal is to get those folks that get enrolled their medical services. So it's not like we're going to be doing, you know, like patient reports or anything like that. We're not a clinic, but we have to get the information of the beneficiaries and the members into a system so that Mindy doesn't have to get up and go look for their file and take all that time. Plus, it doesn't even matter anyways, because we're out of compliance. We need to become it. All the records, which are enrollment records, have to be digitized for IHS. So Julie, I think we have to I think it's just clear cut paid by IHS because they're the ones
Okay.
requiring it.
Yeah, just before
So,
the vote,
here-
board
here-
vote, on it, just to kind of be clear on it, where it's gonna come
Yeah.
from.
So how about if we do this? Anna, are you okay if somebody makes a motion to authorize up to $18,000 to digitize VNT records to be in compliance with whatever federal agency or program that we're out of compliance with? And the funding, the initial source, if it's allowable, to use IHS funds. If not, in that same motion, if not, then we could use Exxon money or whatever that's available that isn't restricted by IHS or BIA.
Yes, perfect. That's exactly right.
What's alarming to me is that it's required and we're not following it at the moment. So we need to correct it and get it, going. Now, whether it's, I can't remember the name, Progeny, I think you said, whether
Yes.
it's Progeny or if it's Cerna that's appropriate, that, needs to be figured out before we spend money, because
That's
Cerna,
what I'm telling you, Jim, is that we already have figured it out. Mindy and I have looked at it very closely, called a lot of people, and we can't do it with Cerner right now at the moment. That's not possible. So Progeny is actually the most cost effective and actually the cheapest. That's why it's used by most tribes. So,
my concern is that we spend the $18,000 and then it's not what we need. So I understand Mindy's has done the legwork, and I appreciate that, but I just want to confirm that if we need something different, then we should get that instead. I would hate to spend $18,000 and then it's gone by way of the dodo. But if it'll work, I'm fine with it.
Jim, this is Bill.
Bill, go ahead.
I'll make that motion.
With those stipulations on IHS or Exxon money, whatever.
Yes, with that, whatever stipulations that we legally can take the money from to get us back into compliance, because the VNT does not need to be out of compliance with any kind of audit with the Indian Health Service or BIA.
All right, there's a motion on, was it up to 18,000, Bill?
Up to 18,000, and if need be, you can come back to the board if something changes or the price has to go up, because in today's world with COVID going on, yesterday's prices might have been 18, but today's prices may be 20. I mean, if it's more than that, then you'll have to come back to the board.
Understood. There's a motion on the floor. Is there a second?
I second.
It's been moved and seconded to authorize up to $18,000 for, and I apologize, Progeny, I believe it's called, system to make VNT in compliance with our requirements, and then initially take it out of IHS if it's available or appropriate. If not, we can authorize, it is authorized to come out of Exxon money if need be. Any discussion?
Question.
Question's been called. All in favor signify by saying aye.
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 All opposed say nay. And the ayes have it. Okay, Anna, you have what you need for that?
yes, thank you.
All right. Next item, unfinished business, Mirac Flooring. Anna, is that you?
Yes, so I just keep putting this on the agenda because I don't want us to lose track of it. I don't want, because we were promised to have, cost sharing done, and I don't want it to get lost in the slowdown of COVID. So I bring it up every time and just keep it on the agenda. So I want the board to know that we're watching for the funding And they kind of, just keep saying that same thing, that they are putting it on hold because of COVID.
Okay.
But it's a big
Any-
amount of money, so that's why I don't want it to get lost.
Okay. Any questions on Mirac flooring? Hearing none. COVID testing. We already
Okay.
covered that, Anna.
No. Okay, so I just wanted to let you guys know that Dr. Alfaro has gotten the Abbott, it's ABBOTT rapid testing machine that the V&T tribe provided through Alaska Native Tribal Health Consortium. And Dr. Alfaro just wanted to tell the board, thank you so much. And it makes a huge difference for the community because the hospital had 2 machines. They needed 3. They didn't have the kits, which we also supplied over 200. They are expiring in October, but so far they've already used a whole bunch of them. I did get new kits also that expire in January. Bill had a good idea, good suggestion that the remaining kits be sent to Chugachmute, to Kelly Baker for redistribution at some of the hot spots. Bill, if you want to jump in here.
Yes, on the Chugach board meeting, when we were talking with Dr. Zink, we brought this issue up to Dr. Zink that our testing is going to expire in October. She suggested we send them to the state and they will replace 1 for 1 and use them in the hot spots like Anchorage or Fairbanks that can be used before they expire. With that being said, Kelly Baker was also on the call, and she is a good person to contact for this deal. And like I said, we do have some new ones. I don't know how many they are that expire now in January, but also the same thing. If we get close to January and still have a great big handful of the deals, we should be able to get a hold of the state, Dr. Zink, and find out where we can exchange them for new updated tests. And that's what's on the Chugach call the other day with Dr. Zink.
Yeah, so we have those going now, and it's made a big difference for people who need to get to go back to work. If they down with symptoms, they can get tested, and if they're positive, they go home, see their doctor. If not, they can go back to work, where before they were having to wait 7 to 10, sometimes 14 days for the results. So also it prompted the city to donate a FEMA trailer to Dr. Alfaro so that she had the facilities to put the rapid testing machine inside, and they built her a acrylic shield to go over the front of it so the nurses don't get contaminated for any reason. And it just worked out really good. And I want you guys to know that they couldn't have done it without the Valdez Native tribe. So everybody deserves a little round of applause. Good job. It's huge. Oh, and the thing it does too is it makes it so kids can go back to school. So
I do have one question, Anna.
yes.
You said that the tests expire in October. Is it October 1st or October 31st?
31st.
Okay. Okay, so you'll contact Kelly Baker about doing that swap?
Yes.
Okay. Any other comments or questions for COVID testing? Hearing none, we'll go to Alaska Community Foundation Isolation Facility.
Okay, so at the last board meeting, I asked to submit a grant to the Alaska Community Foundation, and it was a $500,000 grant. North Pacific Rim Housing Authority has a house over on Copper that they offered to sell to us for $140,000. So that was included in the grant. I also wrote in 2 transportation vans, a psychologist to help people with COVID-related issues. And we, there's an upswing in mental health issues and addiction issues. And then also to hire a community health representative. And there's 125,000, I believe. I'll have to look at the budget again. I'll send you guys all copies of it, for emergency supplies, which includes cots, tents, bedding, food, radios, first aid supplies. I'm attending a webinar tomorrow for knowing exactly what the lists of accepted and approved items are that we can get. Because we were awarded $290,000 of that grant application. We got all the money except for the house. And the reason why, I called them and asked them what happened, and they said that the federal government realized that if they awarded for buildings, then it's a capital gain for tribes. So they took that part out of the grant money. So, but we did get $100,000 for 2 transportation vans. And that way we can, if we have members, beneficiaries that need to go to Anchorage or wherever, we can take them, especially with now we'll have a community health representative. So the big question is, I spoke with Olin at North Pacific Rim Housing Authority and told him that we did not receive the money for the house. He has offered to sell the house to the V&T. There's 3 different options, and they are these. Number 1 is to, of course, purchase it for $140,000. It's newly remodeled. If anybody wants to see it, I'm more than welcome or more than happy to meet you over there. And then the second option is to put down a down payment and make payments, which could happen because we still are getting the rent money from BIA and IHS that we've been putting into the building fund. Or Olin even offered us this, to do a lease with option to buy and to make a monthly payment. The other part of what I want to tell you about this opportunity is that victim services cannot rent the house from the tribe, but they can pay for utilities and a security system, and like if there's any taxes, which there shouldn't be because we're nonprofit, but upkeep, like say you had a roof repair or something, upkeep like that, yard maintenance, snow removal. So there you go. Samantha didn't get to say her piece. We missed her. I'm so sorry, Samantha. We jumped right over to the unfinished business.
Oh, we did. Yep.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Sorry about that.
It's fine.
So maybe while you guys are thinking about that housing, Samantha can tell you how victim services would play a part in that better than I did.
Yes, so per our grant manager, Lori Gardner,
Who's in Washington, D.C.
yes. The rules for this grant, we cannot pay rent to the tribe, but we can pay utilities, the monthly costs associated. So we would be able to pay, like Anna said, all utilities, maintenance, janitorial, security system. We could put in, we can't pay taxes. That is one thing we can't do. But it's an option, and that's totally up to you guys. That's the way victim services could contribute to help either way, victim services, we're figuring out our options with a shelter, since the mobile home, due to the payload of the roof and just the contracting services for that, are too far out for us. Considering this is only a 3-year grant, and yeah, that's kind of where we're at. So also, I will let you guys think about that, and that can come up. Anna knows the deadlines on that funding for that grant. But I just wanted to share the SWAN Symposium Wellness is going on this week, and it started today. And I did a little presentation for just introducing victim services. And I realize that a lot of you guys are on the phone, so I don't know if I shared my screen, how many of you would be able to actually. Anna, you'd have to let me participate in screen sharing. It's saying I'm disabled. But tomorrow, I don't know if any of you have registered for the symposium, but victim service will be sharing at 5 o'clock. And I'll just show you real quick. I won't go through the whole spiel, but I would like you guys to see kind of what we're up to. Oh, it still says it's disabled, Anna. Is there any
Okay,
way?
if I
I don't
go
know.
to, wonder where I go.
Hey, Anna, real quick, did you say that you got 290,000? I'm trying to remember what you said
Yes.
so I can write it down correctly.
Yes, 290. Samantha, do you know where I go to make it so it'll share?
Oh man. Speaker view? No. Oh man. I might have to, I don't know, in your settings. If you go down to screen share, if you hit it, can you say you can open it to others?
No, it just says host has disabled it. Let me try right clicking on it. Maybe nothing. Doggone it. Oh,
That's okay.
I want them to see what you've been doing, because she's been doing a lot. It's really great.
I don't know if it's up in the left-hand corner on that eye.
That just goes exit full screen, speaker view. Oh, wait. I don't know. Hope, do you know how to make it so I can, or do you know where I need to go to? It says host disabled participant screen sharing.
I think it would only be on your screen. I wouldn't be able to help with that.
Okay. Well, just keep telling them what you've been doing, Samantha, and I'll get it fixed.
Okay. So yeah, if you guys, I don't know who's registered, if you have a chance to go, if you have it's a recording, just because they had to do a virtual symposium this year. So it's all available online. But Kristen is online too. I think she joined after we had gotten started, but she's here as well. And we've just been plugging away at really getting a program up and started. Is a lot of tedious work behind the scenes of being able to promote the program and get it out there so that people know we exist, that what services we exist, what is a victim services program. And that's really what it's about. I know that in conversation and just questions from board members about our contract work with Seed Media, and I can only speak for victim services, but in getting
this grant, there was a certain steps that had to be in line for you guys to get approved for the grant. And that was having financial management in place, and any contracts that the tribe is already in contract with is who I have to utilize. And so when it came to designing our website, all of that stuff, our logo, our business cards, VNT is already in contract with Seed Media, so that is who we went through. For compliance with this grant specifically, there is a telecommunication need for the program, and that was where a big price tag item came through, but it was an approved line item for this grant. It was the telecommunication equipment, and it came to $17,500 roughly, and that makes us in compliance to work with our collaborated partners within the community because of the uniqueness of Valdez. That allows us, and in the day and age of COVID, it couldn't have come at a better time, but the equipment will allow us to do trainings, to do wherever the shelter ends up going. The telecommunication equipment can, outside of what's in the boardroom right now in the main hall, that equipment can go to wherever that's why it was put on a cart. I don't know if you guys have been in and have seen it, but that will be able to travel to the shelter, and that will be able for victims and for staff to do trainings, or if there is any kind of telemed services that is needed. So it's a big ticket item, but my hopes is that there's a time that we could set up with Seed Media, that the board members could come in, staff could come in and see how it works. And it was expensive also because it's as simple as like touching the screen. I don't know about you guys, but I am not a technically savvy person, and it's real easy. Like, yeah, it's a touch screen. Like for these board meetings, you can just come in and hit the screen and it'll pop up. And there's a lot more fancy stuff that it can do, but Seed Media, in paying for that too, it also pays for them to maintenance it, and it pays for them to teach us how to use it. So that is also something that, so that was the big ticket item that we paid for, and why we paid for it, because it was a requirement for us to be able to host trainings through victim services and have other partners within the community join those trainings, all of that. We've also, in just getting the program up and running, had to create a website, and I wish that I could share my screen. So the website is completed. It hasn't gone live yet because we have implemented a crisis phone hotline. However, myself and Kristen have a crisis phone line training that we have to complete, which will be completed by next month when we plan on going live with the crisis phone line, and the website will go live then because the phone number is on there for that as well. We've also had them design our business cards for myself and for Kristen. A lot of this is just like startup costs that isn't going to be a regular as expensive. You know, this isn't reoccurring $17,000 every year by any means. We also had them design posters and victim services for victims cards. So in working with Valdez Police Department and them referring victims to us as a resource, the police officers have a, I don't know what you want to call it. I don't want to call it a file, but they carry around like a booklet of resources when they come into situations, not necessarily arresting people or whatever, but that they're able to hand the victims resource information. So we had these special cards designed for community members, such as the Valdez Police Department, to hand out to the victims. And I wish I could show you guys all this because I had them all pulled up, but they'll be available for you guys to see if at any time you want to see them. They're in the office actually right now. And we also, next month is Domestic Violence Month, and we had posters designed that turned out beautiful, and they're amazing. And the idea with victim services is to highlight a service every year, like a monthly service. And so this year because we're new and just with timing, October is Domestic Violence Awareness Month. So we highlighted that month and had posters made that can be used for 10, 15 years to come. So those are also in the office, and they will be given to our partners in the community and hung up at the office as well.
Samantha, you want to try your presentation? Because I think I got it so that you can share the screen
did.
Whenever you're ready.
Yes.
Okay.
I don't know who can see this, but they also designed their logo. I don't know how many people have seen the logo. They did a beautiful job, and they kept in line with the VNT already logo, but made it Victim Services Program. These are the victims cards. So we wanted something that victims, not lugging around in 8.5 by 11. So this is their cards that if they need to call us, that they will be able to contact us. And this is going to be our victims hotline phone number that they can call on. They designed business cards for Kristen and I. And I think this is just what Victim Services is paid for to Seed Media. We also had, this is a poster. We had, I don't know, Kristen, how big they are. I think they're 12 by 18 posters. And then these are the 4 posters that we had designed. And they're as large as well. And then this is the website. The website is valdeznativetribe.org/victimservices. It's locked right now. Like I said, if you go to it, it's not going to show you anything. It requires a passcode. Can I give that out, Anna? Yeah. If anybody wants to view and see what the site looks like, just a sec. I don't know how to exit. The code is VNT 2020, and this is what it looks like. And this is really what I went over with for the SWAN Symposium. I've written our mission statement. And really our program is to provide relief and support services for people who have been harmed or suffered loss, have been physically or emotionally abused as a result of someone committing a criminal offense. And really that's the whole basis and premise of this program. And really our services include the 24-hour crisis hotline. If you guys can all read through it and ask any questions you have, but we'll be providing safety planning for anybody who is in a dangerous situation or feels that they're in a vulnerable situation, that in certain times they need to have a plan that'll be safe for them. We also will help guide them to community resources that are available to them, such as counseling, medical, and spiritual healing. We're not a legal entity, but we do provide advocacy for obtaining criminal and civil orders. We will continue to do community outreach and partnering and collaborating with our partners because that is a requirement of this grant. And we are supporting family members who have been impacted by the crime as well. So when the shelter is up and running, we can also, if there's a vacancy and we need to take in a family, we can. And then victim services, we also had, Seed Media also took our pictures and they seem very large, so sorry. It's a little joke between Kristen and I. So I just want you guys to know that this is what I've been working on, and Kristen, since she has now been with us a month, and we also paid Seed Media for designing this webpage and for the yearly upkeep of, you know, updating that as events come up, and that's about all I have at the moment. We have other things in the works with Seed Media that was approved through this program. We're not allowed to quote unquote, education is a very sensitive word with this, this grant, but outreach is a better word, is the preferred verbiage. And that meaning still reaching out to the community and letting them know what resources are available to them and pointing them in the right direction is really the goal of this program, and utilizing the services that VNT already has in place, and to piggyback onto those. So Anna mentioning that through the funding, hiring a clinician and all of that, that is something that VNT can also work with and partner with. So if anybody has any questions.
Anna?
Yes, thank you, Samantha. That was awesome. You guys are
Anna?
doing great. Yes, Jim. Can you
Could I
fix
get
that
a,
back now, Samantha, the screen?
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. Yes, Jim. Hi, Willow. Okay. Jim.
Hello?
Hi, Jim. Go ahead.
Hi. Hey,
Can you hear me?
can you have Samantha put a digital packet together and send it, whether you send it or Samantha send it, through an email on the programs, that slideshow she was saying, so
Sure.
board members can look at it? I couldn't see it because I'm not on Zoom here.
Okay. Yeah. Can you do that for him, Samantha, please?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Thank you.
And I don't know,
right, thank you.
Some of it can be seen tomorrow in the symposium. If anybody, I know Julie, I don't know who else has maybe registered for it, but there'll also be stuff on there. But yes,
Yeah,
I
I
will
won't be
totally
able to.
put them together.
Okay. And thank you.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so we're on a time crunch for Bill. I'd like to move to new business.
And Jim, Hope needs to go too. She has some obligations she's got to go take care of. So Hope, I can take minutes for you if you want.
That'd be awesome. Thanks. I have a few minutes.
Okay. Are you going to be able to come back, Hope?
Yeah. It takes
Okay.
20 minutes to get there and back and pick up babies.
Okay. Okay. All righty. I'm glad you're coming back.
Okay, so under new business, before Bill leaves, I would like to get, myself and Bill are up for reappointment for Chugachmute Board. I would like to get somebody to make a motion to reappoint myself and Bill to the Chugachmute Board.
This is Sheila Jim. I'll make a motion to have you guys reported to the Treaty Acting Board. And Bill.
All right, thank you. Okay, there's a motion on the floor. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
It's been moved and seconded. Any discussion?
Question.
Question's been called. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed say nay. And the ayes have it. Bill, I don't think there's anything voting-wise left. So if this is a good time for you, you can step off and hope.
Well, Jim, they do need to vote on the house.
I thought you said we can take time to decide what we want to do.
Oh,
you want
okay.
it done tonight?
Whenever you
That's
get
what I thought you had said.
I just meant like, while Samantha was talking, but yes, we do need to make a decision because the funding has to be spent by the end of December. And we need that house for the shelter, and we need that house to run the community health representative and the psychologist out of.
Okay, Anna, what is your recommendation
I
for
think
that building, for that house?
I think it'd be nice if the Valdez Native Tribe could do 10% down payment, 14,000, take it out of the Exxon fund, or actually even the Rama fund would be more appropriate, and do 14,000 down with monthly payments. North Pacific Rim Housing has been really good to the tribe. They deeded over the administration building. They're helping us with building the Tribal Elders Wellness Center. They matched 100,000 on that grant. And so because we have that money that comes in from BIA and IHS, we can make the payment easy. But I think the 14,000 would be a nice gesture to show some appreciation back.
What would be in that scenario, Anna? What would be the monthly payment?
About 1,400, 14 to 1,500 a month. But it's probably even going to be less than that because Olin's not going to charge us a bunch of interest. So he said, actually, what I need you guys to do is decide if that's a way that you would like to go, and then I can have him drop the paperwork, and I can have you look at it next month, tribal board meeting.
So for tonight, are you looking for a motion to get everything going, or?
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
Unless you guys are good with that, and I can just have him drop the paperwork and we can get going on it.
Can I get somebody to make a motion to authorize, I think it was $14,000 out of the Rama fund for down payment and I don't have the address, and I'm sorry.
It's okay.
On Copper Street, I believe.
Jim, this is Bill. I'll make that motion.
Bill, go ahead.
I'll make that motion.
Go ahead. Okay, it's been moved. Is there a second? And Sheila seconded. Under discussion, the motion is to authorize $14,000 down payment with the understanding it's going to be approximately $1,500 a month. Now, is that the least option, or no?
Yes.
That would be
purchasing it.
Okay, so do we have? So do we need somebody?
How long does that loan go for then?
Well, Sheila, those details, Owen said as soon as he knew which way we wanted to go, that he would draw that up. And so I can,
okay. Thank you.
I know he's not going to do anything outrageous, and you guys will have to sign it anyways.
Thank you.
Yes.
So, Okay, so the motion is to authorize 14,000 out of the Rama fund with now the 1,500. Are we identifying that coming out of the Rama fund, Anna, or do we have
No.
another source identified?
Yeah, because you have another source because you still get your BIA and IHS money every month for facility fees that go into your building fund. So, that's appropriate. That's so that you can carry out what you need to have done for the health and tribal management. So that's allowed.
Okay,
allowable.
so
Right on.
all right,
Yeah,
so
you're right.
it's been moved and it's been moved and seconded. Any discussion?
This is Samantha, the victim service. And just to clarify, I mean, so if the shelter went in there, we can pay all maintenance and utilities. And I have a dollar figure that they've set aside for $1,500 a month. It can be, if it's, once nobody can really predict what monthly expenses are going to be. So it can be, we can cover the cost and the security. We have money in the budget for a security system through the same company that already installed VNT's current security system. And so if that puts anybody at ease. So we can't pay taxes because that would be, we can't pay rent to the tribe and we can't pay taxes for the tribe. Just
Yeah,
what this grant won't allow us to pay, but it will allow us to pay any facility costs, snow removal, lawn, all of that.
garbage,
That's all.
stuff like that.
Garbage, yeah.
Thank you,
Everything.
Samantha.
Anna, this is Bill.
Yes, Bill.
Just a quick question. We won't have to pay taxes on it until we own the building, right? It'll still be going through the loan, and North Pacific will still have to pay taxes on it, or will we have to?
No, we will, but they're not going to be like at full rate because we're nonprofit. But I don't know what to say to that. Yes, you have to pay your taxes. You have to pay taxes.
Taxes is usually paid in the mortgage.
Right, with insurance.
Yeah.
So as far as discussion, Anna, we need to make sure how those taxes and insurance are going to be paid.
I will, Jim, and like I said, with this now I can go to Olin and say this is what we can do. He'll drop the paperwork, and then at our next board meeting, you guys will either sign the papers because you like it, or you won't because you don't.
Okay. Any other discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
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 All opposed say nay. And the ayes have it. So you have what you need for this, Anna?
Yes, thank you very much, everybody.
Okay, Bill, do you need to sign off?
Not yet, but I just wanted the resolution for the museum. Anna,
Yes.
do you need me for that, or?
Yeah, we need to vote on that. So the resolution for the National Endowment for the Humanities Grant is I need that approved. I did send a copy of it over to everybody. It's a grant. It's a grant for $500,000 to help get the artifacts back and or digitized from Germany.
And Anna, is this the Pieces of the Past
Yes.
resolution?
Yes.
Okay. Do you know what resolution number it would be?
I think it's going to be 2027.
2020 number 7?
Yes.
Okay. get a motion on the floor?
I'll give you that motion, Jim, for that resolution.
Thank you, Bill. Is there a
To
second?
accept it.
I'm sorry, did somebody second?
John Boone seconded.
Thank you, John. Any discussion on resolution 2020-7?
Question.
Question's been called. All in favor signify by saying aye.
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 All opposed say nay. And the ayes have it.
Thanks, Jim. I got to go now.
Bye, Bill.
All right, thank you, Bill. All right. Hope, did you sign off as well?
Yes, she did.
I'll take that as a yes. Okay. Next item, Anna, is environmental impact study for North Pacific Rim Housing Authority.
Okay, so Owen was going to come down on Monday and get that taken care of for our Tribal Elders Wellness Center, but he asked for an extension, which we were granted. So he'll be down to get that done probably within the next 6 weeks. So we're still moving forward, making good progress with the Tribal Elders Wellness Center. Just wanted to let
Okay,
you
any
know,
questions?
just an update.
Okay, thank you. Any questions on the EIS with North Pacific Rim? Hearing none, CERC presentation with Aaron Shue.
So Aaron Shue and Willow Hetrick from CERC are here with us now, and they have a little bit of a presentation, not a long one, but they had some exciting things to let everybody know and include the Valdez Native Tribe in. So Aaron and Willow, welcome. Oh, you're muted, Aaron. There you go.
There we go. I had to unmute in 2 places. That always gets me. Good evening. Thank you guys for having us, and I'll try to keep this really brief. I wanted to update you or the council on a couple of projects that we're working on, as well as reach out to get some input and advice on how to move forward with them, either tonight or talking over email or over the phone in the future. And the first of those is actually 2 projects related to climate change. So in 2019, CERC was awarded a grant to do a vulnerability assessment of the Chugach region, specifically looking at climate impacts on fish and wildlife and plants and the environment. And so understanding a little bit how changing environmental conditions are affecting subsistence resources and foods. We were going to come and do all of these in person and get to talk to people and meet everybody, but unfortunately, our best laid plans fell through. We were originally going to do that back in April. And so in lieu of being able to come in person, we actually set up an online survey that asks a bit about subsistence foods, if people use them and if they've seen any changes in the health or the condition of those subsistence foods over the years, as well as if they have any concerns just in general. And then what we hope to do is use this to gather some preliminary information, and then if it, when it's safe to travel again, hopefully come to Valdez and be able to present this in person and get some feedback and some live interaction there to see kind of, did we interpret this right? Are there concerns that we're missing in this? Just get some of that feedback. So with that, mostly I had an ask for folks, and I was hoping that we could get some help with outreach about this survey. We'd really like to, get people knowledgeable about the environment and conditions that go out and do subsistence quite a bit, or just out on the land or the water quite a bit to tell us what they're seeing and what their concerns are. And so I could share this information with Anna, but we do have a online survey, like I mentioned, or I'd also be happy to talk to people over the phone if they're not really comfortable with doing a survey form online. So that's the first project. And the second one is actually an extension of that project. And I'm excited to announce that we got a grant to move from that assessment into some planning. And so we have a 2-year grant to do a regional resilience plan. And we definitely want to, work with the tribes to inform that and feed that. And we're also willing to, we can work with tribes to develop community resilience plans if you would like as well. And we really want to base this on the results of the vulnerability assessment once it comes in, and come up with actionable projects or programs that, could be basically put in place pretty quickly that would look at mitigating or ameliorating some of the impacts that we're seeing, or, ecosystem restoration and rejuvenation, trying to look at projects like that. So I think that there's a wide range of things that we could do with this plan. And I just wanted to let you know that this is something that's coming up. We're not really going to get started on this until the vulnerability assessment is finished. So probably the spring of 2021. But I'd love in the meantime to get feedback about the best way to approach this, and also just invite yourselves and tribal members to get in contact with us to talk about what you'd like to see in a resilience plan. So I'll stop there and ask if anybody has any questions about the climate change program.
I would like to add,
Does anybody? Go ahead, John.
To it.
I'm
Go
sorry,
ahead, John. I think I walked on you.
I'm sorry, but I'll go forward here. I'm not sure of the exact date, but I think it was 2007 that we lost our subsistence activities here for gill netting and for halibut. I used to be very big in that, and for whatever reason, the government deleted Valdez from subsistence activities, so we had to go to sport fishing, which is the general public, I guess, but that's something I would like to see reenacted here. But that's just my opinion for John Boone.
Yeah, thank you for that. I mean, I think that, I mentioned projects and programs, but I think, calls to political action or advocacy for subsistence rights and access to subsistence is also some actionable items that we could put into the plan. So yeah, being able to have access to those subsistence harvests, maybe we can devise some ways to go about that as part of this planning process, and ways that CERC could support the tribe in doing that.
I would imagine, Aaron, that, and I don't know for a fact, but I would imagine that Katuchik is in the same boat as us, because I think the other 5 are still within the subsistence, allowable subsistence harvest.
Yeah, thinking of the maps in my head, I think you're right. I think that Seward is also considered a non-subsistence area. Yeah, so I think we'll have, in the regional report, I think we'll have a mixture of things that might be community specific, as well as some that are more regional. But again, that's, I think it is still, it's something that that we really want to work with the tribes to make sure it's a useful document that, you could use to apply for grant funding, and CERC could use to apply for grant funding as well for projects that we'd like to see put in place.
So we just want to make sure that's on your radar, please.
Yes, thank you. I wrote that down, and I will definitely, put that into our notes and our as one of the concerns that Valdez has. And then the other. Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead.
I just had one more quick project that I wanted to update everybody on. We also recently got funding for a Wisdom Keepers workshop on migratory birds. And so our goal with this project is to bring people knowledgeable about migratory bird, ecology, harvest, use together, and figure out ways to bring in students as well from the region to have a discussion and a dialogue about the interaction between birds and people and the environment. and what that has looked like over time. And then we also, and with permission from people who participate in this, we'd like to use that to help inform some of our wetlands conservation work, as well as the climate vulnerability assessment. And to kind of, we recognize that there could be some sensitive information included in a workshop like that, and so to address that, we really want to be cautious of that and cognizant of it. And so we were going to establish a advisory council of about 5 tribal members who could help guide us in what would be acceptable to use, in a climate change plan or in a wetlands conservation work, and what is best kept private and for the tribe, or for the tribes. And then we'd also want to use that information to develop a local migratory bird ID guidebook that we would be able to give free copies out to the tribes and schools in the region, with the idea that, focusing on just the species in the region and including some of that knowledge about traditional uses and traditional harvests could help kind of remind people of that connection to culture and hunting and subsistence when they go out bird hunting. So those are the 2 projects, or the 3 projects that I wanted to let you guys know about. And if you have any thoughts or comments about the bird one or about any of them, I welcome those, and thank you for your time.
All right, any comments or questions for the presentation from CERC?
Yes, Jim, I would like to chime in on a little bit of that.
Okay, go ahead, John.
I know the migratory bird subject has been a kind of a touchy one because it's on a federal level, and every year, the first week in May, I've gone out and we harvest seagull eggs. I've been questioned by the field people in the field documenting this stuff, and there, as far as I know, there's no limits on it. But they're not frowning at it, but they just wanted to document what I was doing because I was there harvesting seagull eggs, and there is a way to do it. I know that, I don't know if it's the right way, but it was the way I was taught how to harvest them, but that's coming up as a touchy subject too, because every year we're losing ground on the subsistence level, and that's going to be probably coming up next, that will be stripped from Valdez native group for harvesting migratory bird eggs. I know that it happens. The Fish and Wildlife has been documenting me doing it, but I haven't seen other families out there, but I know they're there. But I just wanted to let you know that it's still active.
Okay, and it's my understanding, at least out of Cordova, if you're going to subsistence for seagull eggs, they have to register with the Forest Service over there because they don't have a U.S. Fish and Wildlife there. I don't know about Valdez, where you're supposed to register.
I don't have to register anywhere. I just have to document that I'm doing it, and I haven't had to report to any office or facility yet. I always just give them my name and my address, show them my driver's license, and show them that my CIB card that I am Alaska Native. So that's all I've been questioned at.
And who are you giving that information to? Is it U.S. Fish and Wildlife in the field?
U.S. Fish and Wildlife. They're the ones documenting the bird, I guess the nesting area.
Okay. I'm just a little confused because seagulls aren't a migratory bird, but I understand, they're federal, so.
Yep.
yeah, this conversation actually makes me think that having information too, just about what regulations are, so people are aware, could also be really good for this workshop, and have that on a community by community basis, since it can differ. Thank you, guys.
Yes, there are families using that resource here locally in Valdez.
Wonderful. Glad that the traditions are continuing.
Okay, any other comments for Cirque? And I do have a comment, Willow and Aaron. I apologize. I didn't realize you were online. I would have jumped your presentation up fairly early in the meeting had I realized.
That's
You're
fine, Jim.
Anna told us, yeah, Anna told us to call in about 5:15, so we haven't been on too long.
Oh, okay. So you weren't on at 4. All right.
No. And Jim, this is Willow. I just have a couple comments for John and yourself and the rest of the council about the subsistence issues. Cirque just today signed a grant with the Bureau of Indian Affairs to work on strictly subsistence issues. Now we're still working out some of the details and getting the project set up, but we're very happy that we got the grant. It was a little under $400,000. That's going to allow us to hire an intertribal liaison. That person their sole job will be to liaison with the Fish and Wildlife Service, with the Federal Subsistence Board, with the Board of Fish, with the Board of Game, North Pacific Fisheries Management Council, you name it. So it's a way to get our voices back into the regulatory system. As John mentioned, we're losing more and more ground every single year, and so this money is going to help us gain back some ground. And if not gain back some ground instantly, definitely stop the loss of traction, if you will, for subsistence management. So that is breaking news. You guys are the first council that I've announced it to, but I just got the contract in the mail today, so I just wanted to let you know that we are going to start working on that heavily. And the other thing I wanted to present to the council, I know that not all of you can see the screen, but I'm going to share it anyways because I see that Anna is recording it, is just a really quick update on the CDC grant money that Cirque received. We applied for it back in April. The CDC grant title is Supporting Tribal Public Health Capacity in Coronavirus Preparedness and Response. It's a very complex grant, but we originally applied for the grant late April, and were initially given $25,000 to carry out coronavirus preparedness. And then late June, they gave us our full ask, which was about $75,000. Later on, about a month later, the CDC decided that based on our population served and also the total interest in the grant, they were going to give us $600,000 total. We were blown away. It's amazing. And we're able to give about half of that directly to the tribes. Jim's on our board, of course, as you all know, and so he participated in a lot of the special board meetings that we had in an effort to figure out how to distribute this money. Now, I submitted the draft final budget to the CDC on August 31st. They have 30 days to get back to me to approve our final budget before we can start moving ahead. But I'm just going to give you some of the projects that we as an organization based on tribal input have listed for the CDC. And I also want to caveat that everything that we're doing is going to be food security based, because one of the, we at Cirque, we are natural resources, we're living environment, we're living things. And so that's what we had to focus on, and food sovereignty has been one of our main issues for quite some time now. One of the projects that we proposed was a multi-purpose conics production unit. These would be transported to the community and live there, and they'd be able to have freezers, game processing, hydroponics, perhaps, kelp production, anything that the tribe could possibly need to help with food security issues. Other things that we've been thinking about that Valdez was also interested in was a food processing facility. These would be in the Connex, and it would provide a means for tribal members to have access to clean and top of the line, cutting, smoking, grinding, vacuum sealing, canning, freezing, flash freezing, grinding, equipment to use for subsistence foods like fish or game. Another project that is an option are creating greenhouses or hoop houses. And these would be located at potentially tribal offices or maybe even schools, elder centers, whatever the tribe wants. And the greenhouse would be able to supplement some of the food that's not coming to you guys because of distribution concerns during COVID. The other item that we've been considering is food distribution, direct food distribution, which I know has been happening on a small scale in Valdez. PPE, cleaning supplies, or building safety improvements we're able to help with. We're also considering doing shellfish or kelp enhancement on tribal beaches. That's something that we have been doing as an organization in Port Graham and Chiniga for quite some time. And we grow the baby shellfish in our hatchery facility in Seward, and we actually outplant them at shellfish sanctuaries to heighten the ability of tribal members to harvest shellfish on beaches that are close to home. You don't have to go very far. And another option that we've been thinking about is an intertribal food exchange network. And Jim's heard a lot about this, but it was an idea actually that was brought up by one of our staff members. And the thought was, well, let's just say that Cordova this year had a very terrible salmon return, but Port Graham and Nanwalek salmon return was very good. And Cordova may have had a successful moose season, but Port Graham didn't get a moose. And so what we would be able to do with this money is facilitate an exchange of food, where Port Graham says, we have an excess of fish, but we don't have any game. What do you guys have for us? And Valdez says, we have tons of deer. Let's do a trade. And so this would support that and provide the financial assistance for that. We're also reworking some recipe book, some traditional foods recipes from the region to include nutrition facts that just showcase how important it is for tribal members to eat subsistence, natural foods, wild foods during this pandemic to stay healthy, because a healthy person is the only person that's going to survive this pandemic and this disease, as we know. So we just want to showcase how great natural foods are for our bodies. So those are some of the projects that we're thinking of. What's going to happen next is we're going to get approval from the CDC, and then we're going to put together kind of a menu, if you will, a wish list, and it'll have all the possible options that any tribe could want, and with a picture and a description of what it's going to be. We'll be giving that to the tribal councils, and we'll expect just a checkbox saying, yes, we want this, yes, we want this, yes, we want this. We imagine that each tribe is going to get somewhere along the lines of an $80,000 allowance. And so we'll have to work within that budget, and those are numbers, we'll come up with hard numbers a little later, but that's our plan. And so we'll be having a lot of interaction with you in the next couple months. And of course, Anna as well. Our direct line of contact is through Jim. He's always who we email first. And he'll be able to either say, yes, please go ahead and reach the entire council, or no, I'll handle it. We'll handle it at our next meeting. It's up to him. But we're really happy about this, and we're really excited to be working with you to start to supplement all the great work that you guys already have going on. That's it. Any questions?
Excuse me, any questions for Willow? Or comments?
Willow, thank you.
Aaron,
thank you guys so much. You've been working so hard, and thank you for remembering to include the Valdez Native tribe, of course.
Oh, of course.
Thank you.
We couldn't do it without you.
All right, hearing no other comments, thank you, Willow and Aaron.
Have a good evening.
And you as well.
Thank you. Bye.
Okay, next item, where am I at? Resolution needed for policy change on bereavement leave. Anna?
So the board actually voted on this before and discussed it before, but I just need a resolution so that I can change the policy on bereavement. You voted before, and I failed to get a resolution back then. It was a couple years ago. But we need to change the policy on bereavement from 3 days to 5 days leave. And I need a resolution so I can do that officially.
So
You need a motion for that, Jim?
I'm a little confused, Anna. Hold on one second, please, John. I'm a little confused. If we voted on it 2 years ago, you just need a resolution to solidify that, or do you need another motion to say that? I'm just, process-wise, I'm just asking.
Okay, so since that time, I've learned that whenever we're doing a policy change, that there needs to be an accompanying resolution so that I can actually go into your constitution and bylaws and change whatever is the subject for the moment, so that if any, one wants to verify that the board did indeed vote on it, and a resolution needs to be attached with it. So that's what I'm asking for.
So you need a resolution 2020 and I guess 08, changing the bereavement policy leave from 3 days to 5 days?
Yes. So it's right, correct.
Can I get somebody to make a resolution, please? Okay.
I stepped out for a minute. Jim, you need the resolution. What motion did you need? Sheila, I didn't hear. I got the end of it.
So the resolution that's needed is to approve bereavement leave policy for the VNT to go from 3 days to 5 days bereavement leave.
So I make a motion that we approve from moving the bereavement from 3 days to 5 days. Is that what we're looking for?
Yes, and then it's just for the record, Anna, it's 2020-08 resolution.
Correct. Yeah, Sheila, you guys already voted on it before, but I failed to ask for a resolution on that.
So we're just doing why do we need to make a motion on the resolution then? If we
I need a resolution. I didn't get one. I asked you guys to vote on this like in 2018 or early 2019. And I didn't know that in order to change policy, we need to have an accompanying resolution. So
we should have done it at the same time?
Yeah. So I'm just asking for a resolution to match that vote.
So we need to make a resolution for 2020-08 for approving 3 days of agreement to 5 days.
Correct.
Okay. There's my motion.
Is there a second?
This is Hope. I can second it.
Okay. Any discussion?
Question?
Hearing none. All in favor signify by saying aye.
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 All opposed say nay. The ayes have it. Next item. Construction committee meeting needs to be scheduled.
Correct.
And
So
I don't have the committee members' names in front of me. Who's on the construction committee?
Bill, Frida, and John.
Okay. And Bill signed off.
Mhm.
So John and Frida, can you get a date identified with Bill?
This construction
conduct
committee is for the wellness center?
Yes, so there's that, and then also we need to talk about how we're gonna get the two Connex buildings together, the wellness center, and, you know, what CERC has presented as far as the greenhouse goes and the food processing facilities.
the game one, yeah.
We'll have to table that, I think, Jim, because let me have some time to get a hold of Bill, and then we could meet up with Frida and try to come up with some dates on that.
Well, I think the important thing, John, is that get a commitment from you and Frida for the moment that you'll have a meeting prior to the next VNT board meeting. That way we can hopefully have some updated information.
Okay.
I don't
Sounds good.
think we need to set a date right now,
Okay.
but I would like to have it done before the next board meeting, please.
Okay, I'll work on that.
Frida, are you okay with that?
Yes.
All right, thank you both.
Thank you, Frida.
Next item, artifact committee meeting. And
So
Anna, I'm not sure who's on that committee as well.
Hope, Frida, and Bill. No, I'm sorry, Frida. Hope, Danny, and Bill. So maybe Hope could agree to talk to those two. Danny and Bill.
That would be great. Hope, if you don't mind contacting both of them, and again, try to have a meeting before the next VNT board meeting, so we have updated information. I thought Hope was back online.
I thought she was too, but I guess not. We lost her. It looked like she was on. Now she's not. I can get with them, all three of them, Jim, and ask him to set up a meeting, if that's okay.
I would like that very much, please, and with the stipulation that they get a meeting conducted prior to the next VNT board meeting.
Okay, thank you.
Yep, thank you. Next item, flu shot clinic.
Okay, so we've been offered by the community health nurse, Terry Lynch, to hold a flu shot clinic pod. They're called a pod. They're doing them in various places in the community, but they wanted to make sure that the VNT had their own in case members and beneficiaries are more comfortable coming to the administration building for it. Or we could even set it up at the new house that you guys just decided to get. So that's exciting because it kind of goes in line with that. They're hoping to get people vaccinated for the flu, and then when the COVID vaccine comes available, to have a similar clinic. But I couldn't, can't say yes to her without your guys' approval or not.
I definitely don't have a problem with, I just don't know, I mean, we can't say in the new building that we're getting or the administration building, but I don't think anyone would have heartburn if we approve the VNT to be one of the, I think you said pod?
Yes, pod locations. And how
So
they're doing it is they're making small groups. So like they might go A to D if your last name starts with A through D, and then, on down the alphabet. so that we're not having a clinic where, you know, everybody shows up. It's small little groups.
So it's legwork trying to coordinate whatever group of letters.
Yes, but Terry's, you know, willing to do all that. Really, all that we need to do is provide the facility and the advertising on our webpage and our Facebook page and on the door and in our newsletter. And, you know,
All right.
probably call, you know, we'll have the new community health representative working for us, so they can call all the elders and ask them if they'd like it. They could call all the members, actually.
Okay. Well, my preference at this point, Anna, that
Yes.
and I'm fine with setting that up and getting it done for members and beneficiaries, but my preference would be at the administration building.
Okay.
That's just me. I'm one director, but I like the idea of using that building for now. Anybody else have any input for the flu shot clinic?
When is it going to be held?
I don't have a date yet, Frida. I just needed to get approval if you guys want to do it, and then Terry will set up the date.
I approve this. It's a good thing to have a flu shot clinic. It's usually, I asked when it was going to be because usually here in Valdez, it's pretty late, like going into October. And there's some people with high risk that really need to have flu shots early.
Okay, I'll talk to her and see if we can't get, you know, in as soon as possible.
Thank you, Anna.
And
You're welcome.
as far as the clinic goes, Anna, my employer gives us flu shots, so I expect to be getting one there, so I won't need to get a second one.
Okay, good to know.
Okay, anything else for flu shot clinic? All right, hearing none. COVID-19 strategy. I think we've covered most of that, Anna, have we not?
I just wanted to make sure, I always like to update you guys on how we're keeping the office running at, you know, kind of closure capacity by having people call in, send everything electronically, limiting office visits, trying to do everything over the phone, and then allowing the staff to work from home as much as they need to, and scheduling, you know, limited hours, or, you know, making sure that we're not all bunched in there together. So trying to do about 2 people on board, or the most 3 at one time. And Mindy's been doing a great job, and Bernice of running TWIC and keeping everybody, you know, by appointment only. So that's what the recommendation still is from Alaska Native Medical Center, and then the Native Health Board as well. So their facilities are staying closed still through the middle, kind of actually towards the end of October. So that's what we're looking at for the Valdez Native Tribe as well. And I just want to make sure that you guys are okay with that.
Okay. I'm fine with that. All right, so at this point, Anna, I would like to excuse everyone except board members and yourself, please. I'd like to go into an executive session.
Alrighty. I think, okay, so Mindy, are you on still? I don't think Mindy's on. She might have shut her.
Yes, but I'm leaving now, so have a good night.
Okay, bye, Mindy. Have a good
Anna?
night.
Good night.
Thank you. Yes.
Anna?
Yes.
This is Julie. Can you just give us enough time, I guess, to get out of the building, or is it going to be a long one, or? There's still myself, and I think Kirsten's here too, maybe.
Okay, well, as long, oh, because John's on the phone, huh? Maybe you could take him
John
off
and
speaker.
Sheila are in there as well.
Oh, okay. Can you shut the door to the community room?
Yeah.
I
we'll do
could.
that.
That'll work.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you, Julie. Good night,
All right.
Julie.
Good night.
Thank you.
Good night.
Bye, Kristen.
Good night.
Thank you.
So Anna, do we have just board members and yourself online now?
It looks like Frida, you, John, and Sheila. That's it.
And Hope's not back?
No.
I thought I heard her voice, but anyway. Okay, so it's just the board members and yourself.
Correct.
I'd like a motion to go into executive session, please.
I make a motion to go into executive session.
I'll second it.
It's been moved and seconded to go in executive session. So Anna, if you can record, was it 1850 coming out of executive session?
Dawn, thank you.
And the only thing left is scheduling the next meeting. How does October 19th, how does that work for people?
Works for me.
Is there any objection to the 19th?
It's good for me.
4 o'clock on the 19th?
Okay. Make a motion to adjourn.
I second it.
Okay, hold on 1 second, please. I appreciate the motion. Anna, can you let Bill and Danny know? And
Sure.
Hope, please.
I sure will.
All right, there's a motion on the floor to adjourn, and was there a second? I didn't.
Second by me.
Sheila seconded, thank you. Any discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
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 All opposed say nay. And the ayes have it. Thank you very much, everybody.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you.